dinosaur. That's great. That's him. Emma.
And as well as the lights on our Advent crown, and with the third one lit, that means there's only one more to go till Christmas, Simon will also be illuminating the small Cornish town of Mousel. Now, it's a great honour to be asked to switch on the Mousel illuminations, and you can see the whole ceremony in a moment. First of all, though, have a look at a rather energetic old lady.
The secret lies underneath her dress, because buried beneath the folds of her skirt are a tiny electric motor. Whoops, where are you going? That's it, she's back on course now. And there's also a very tiny radio receiver that is picking up signals from this radio control that I'm operating. It's exactly the same principle as on those huge wow things, except that it's on a much smaller scale, of course. Well, she gets a little bit carried away, this old lady, and as well as whizzing round in ever-decreasing circles, if she gets really annoyed, she starts frantically waving her stick as well. Well, she's a delightful old thing, and if I can get her back on course, there we are. She is one of over 1,000 models that will be on display at the Model Engineer Exhibition. That starts a week on Monday, and it's on at the Wembley Conference Centre. Here's another one.
And here's an old man on his tricycle that could put rings around the old lady, thanks to the control unit that I'm using. It sends out signals on a different wavelength to that of the old lady, so it means it doesn't affect her controls in any way. And if you're wondering how he has the pedal power, well, the secret is there's a tiny little mini motor inside his basket.
OK, we've got another one over here. If I can just get it motivated. You'll hear that it makes rather peculiar noises as well. And just have a look at those eyes. If you met this on a dark night, well, I think you'd run a mile. It is the most extraordinary caterpillar, and certainly it's hard to imagine a huge 1 metre long furry caterpillar like this. Whoops, where are you going? Go on, off you go. That way, that way, that way. Whoops. Go on, go forwards. Go on, go on. Oh dear, Goldie, you coming to help me out? That's it, got him moving again now. It has a bit of difficulty going in the right direction because of our slippery studio floor. Let's give it a bit of help. No, Goldie, it's not another dog, it's a huge furry caterpillar. Well, it's amazing to think that this is a working model, but work it does, as you can see, and it's quite ingenious because he arches his back and he undulates along the floor in the most amazing manner, just like a real caterpillar. And if Goldie gets out of the way, I'll turn his head round and you have a look at his beady eyes, because they really are the most extraordinary eyes. You can see what a mean, evil look he's got, and he's driving Goldie mad. Again, just like the wild things, the principle he works on, there you can see those ping-pong eyeballs giving him that mean and moody look. Well, the Model Engineer Exhibition is on until January the 6th. It does cost £1.60 for adults to go in, but if you wear your Blue Peter badge, you can go along absolutely free.
Now, there's another creature, if he's finished in time, will be making a star appearance.
Yep, he's a dinosaur, and I think he's just as interesting in his unfinished state, because then you can see how he's constructed. He was made by Paul Jeffries of Camberley, and Mr. Jeffries has given him the very traditional, long, almost swan-like neck of a dinosaur, and the little links all the way down the back of his neck give him a really very graceful movement. Not having met a dinosaur face-to-face before, I don't know if they're all as affectionate as this, but he's got a dear little face. The motive power comes from a little motor down in the part of his body, and his body was made out of a single plywood unit that was then cut in half and hinged, and that helps with his steering as well. Now, when he makes his appearance at Wembley, he's going to be covered in leather. That's if Mr. Jeffries gets him finished in time, of course. And I think then he'll be even more lifelike. In fact, I think when you get there, you'll be the star of the show. Yes, you will.
They're excellent models, and well done, Mr. Jeffries. They've given us a lot of fun. As I said before, if you are going, don't forget to wear your Blue Peter badge. Actually, if you're coming down to London for the Christmas holidays and you're keen on old coins, well, why not go along to the special exhibition which is saying goodbye to the old half-pence coin, and that's on at the British Museum. Now for my invitation to Cornwall. I'm sure everyone's heard of the Christmas lights up here in London in Regent Street. But Cornwall has some illuminations that are equally famous if you live in the southwest. And it really was a great honour for me to be invited to perform the great switch-on ceremony of the Christmas lights at Mousel. Mousel is only 9 miles from Land's End, and in the summer it's a haven for fishing boats caught in bad weather. but in the winter months, the sea gets so rough that a barrier is put across the harbour entrance to protect the village against damage from the pounding waves. Nowadays, it serves a dual purpose, protecting the extraordinary display of illuminations afloat inside it. But there was one illumination that was still to be put up.
I shouldn't think there's any blue light bulbs left in Cornwall.
No, not really. You're not lifting much, Simon. Come on.
It's those at the back. Is anybody lifting at the back? It's very heavy.
I joined Chief Electrician Watson Travaskis and the Mousel Lights Committee to put up a 6-metre illumination of the Blue Peter ship.
Yeah, so it's just over the harbour wall, is it?
Just down the slip here, that's right.
Right.
Yeah.
Still not lifting at the back. Didn't go all the way.
We were heading for the harbour, where a special site had been chosen to erect it. Goldie loves water and had already found the way down for a spot of fishing. This must be one of the strangest processions ever, but it hardly caused her head to turn. The work of the Lights Committee may seem unusual to you or me, but if you live in Mousel, it's part of your way of life.
Do you want this end putting down?
The ship had taken a month to build, and each section weighs over 60 kilos. There are 126 light bulbs in each half, and we took great care not to break any.
Bulbs on me, steady. Take that one.
What are looking like for level? Wait, is it square?
What's it like, Bob?
Right side, see if it looks a bit vertical.
Shall we have a look from back there?
Can you have a look?
Stand back a bit.
I think the top could go across a little bit.
Is that straight, Simon?
It's a bit skew if it's about half a mile too far to the right. That's it. Whoa, 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 whoa.
What's that?
Yeah, that's not bad. That's pretty good.
Can you come and tie this up then?
Yeah, yeah. That's not bad at that. What's next then, Watson?
Well, we'll have the other half now, Simon.
Yeah. All right. Yes.
Come back here, Simon.
Are you all right, Pete? Yeah. Okay, son. Yeah. Keep it coming.
Come under the bar there.
Lift out, lift out.
It's jammed. I just showed across the brine up there, Tim. See if you can get.
Okay, over the top, boys.
Right, level here.
Got it, Roy? Yeah. We got another. What's holding it up there? Just 3 bolts?
Yeah,
3 bolts. So what do your wives think of all this caper? Not a lot,
But our ship looked magnificent, and I just hoped the committee wives would understand. Another last-minute display were these giant candles, put up as late as possible so there was less danger of them being blown over. At one end of the harbour is Watson's box that provides the power to the lights.
Is this the all-important control box here?
Yeah, this is the one where it all stems from.
Right. Does this control the lights throughout the whole of the village?
No, this is just the top end of the harbour that you'll be switching on.
So has anybody ever actually pressed the switch and nothing's happened?
Not yet.
I suppose there's always a first time. These lights are very pretty here. These just look like ordinary sun buckets. Is that what they
That's
are?
in fact what they are. Yes, they're 2 halves put together with the cable running through it, and the lamp holder actually stuck up inside with a lamp.
When it all started 21 years ago, were the lights just originally around the harbour?
Just one string of lights up this pier and part way across the front. That's
and
all.
it's just literally grown and grown, back up the hillside.
every year.
Yeah.
Snowballed on from there.
Bob Keats, who's the second mechanic on the famous Penley lifeboat, is Watson's assistant.
Is this the all-important switch?
This is the all-important switch. This
Right.
is the one that will actuate the contactor in the box and bring on all the lights around the harbour.
We better get this right then, haven't we?
I think so.
This is the one we've got to look after
Right.
our lives.
So that bit goes in there.
That's right, that bit's going to Watson, and we're going to paint this one out now, ready for tonight, and you'll actually be
Right.
actuating that little black box.
I see you're a lifeboat man, Bob. Are a lot of the men on the lights lifeboat
I
men?
should say at least half of the harbour light team are involved with the lifeboat in one way or another, yes. Yeah, that will probably do you about there,
Right.
Simon.
Now,
yeah?
you drop that down there.
Yes, we'll drop that down there behind the seat. That'll keep it out of harm's way then. You'll be standing here with that tonight. That'll actually be attached to a microphone stand.
I joined Watson, Bob and the lights designer Stuart Parnell on a round of inspection.
Try this one out a minute just to make sure this one is going to operate as it should.
It's a wonderful robin, Stuart. Yeah. Yeah. Have you had this before in previous years?
8-year-old now.
Is it? Looks great.
Okay, I'll tell you what, we can switch it on for you. I'll just give Roy a shout.
All right.
Roy, can you switch on, please?
Oh yeah, brilliant. No sooner said than done. It looks great.
Oh, we're looking all right.
What about those on the bottom, the green ones? Are they?
Oh, they're a bit difficult to tell sometimes.
Yeah.
Daylight, it looks as if they're about right.
I think it looks great here on the hillside.
Oh, it does. It shows up really well.
Now, what's the next check then, Stuart?
Over and over the father pictures.
Is that up here?
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Each display has its own electrical supply and is switched on by members of the committee who stood by for their last-minute tests.
Come and meet some reindeer, Goldie. Come on. They look rather peculiar on the grass without any snow, don't they?
It's lovely if we could get some there for the night.
That's right, yeah. I think it looks great from down in the town. You know, they must look as if they're flying through the night on top of the hillside.
Everything else is black. You've
Yeah.
just got the floodlights silhouetted in the reindeer. And
Yeah.
Can you switch on, please, Brian? Thank you,
There
mate.
you go. So you just got that one row going across and Rudolph's red nose.
That's right. And then some floodlights actually floodlighting each individual.
Oh, are these on the floor?
That's right.
I see. I must look great. Actually, that is a stunning view down there, isn't it? Suppose you get used to it, do you?
well, I think you still never take it for granted.
No.
It's, you know, they're still
Quite beautiful.
quite beautiful.
It looks good now, but you want to see it tonight.
I bet it's magical, yeah.
Yeah, it surely is. Like fairyland.
The switching on ceremony was timed for 7:30, and quite a crowd had gathered to hear Chairman Dudley Penrose introduce me.
It is the switching on of the lights for 1984. Our guest of honour tonight, I'm sure you all recognise his face. He's from BBC's Blue Peter, Mr. Simon Groom and Goldie.
Thank you very much. Now, you'll all be glad to know that I don't believe in making long speeches. I usually like to keep them down to about half an hour. Seriously, I would like to take the opportunity to welcome you all here tonight. Thank you for coming along, and also for making Goldie and I so welcome as well. Actually, I'm sure you'd like to have a closer look at my four-legged friend, so I'll do the honours. Hang on. There you go. Actually, she's keeping her paws crossed in case the lights fuse. The first thing I would like to say is to congratulate you all on 21 years of lights. I think it's a fantastic achievement. Although Blue Peter has filmed here before, you may remember when Sarah came down and tasted Stargazy pie and Jack Wallace sang for her. This is my first time here in Mousel, and I must say it really is the most beautiful, unspoilt village, and thank you for making Goldie and I so welcome. But right now I'm going to do something rather peculiar. I'm going to cover her ears up, because this year we're going to start with a bang.
The bang was the signal for the men of Mousel to switch on their lights in turn, and as the Pendine Silver Band played the famous Cornish carol, Hark the Glad Sound, the darkness began to fill with beautiful shapes and colours. All the lights were on bar one. Then it was my turn to light up Mousel's newest Christmas illumination.
Yeah, that really was a dazzling display, wasn't it?
Yes,
it was
it
lovely. I
was.
really enjoyed it. And who barked all the way through the last verse,
He
eh?
was joining in.
Yeah,
Isn't it nice that so many of the Lights Committee are lifeboatmen?
absolutely.
The bravery of lifeboatmen is unequalled throughout the country, and that's why we want to help our 4 Blue Peter inshore lifeboat crews by replacing their worn-out boats. One donation has come to us accompanied by this fabulous picture. It's from the first Attleborough Brownies, and they raised £50 by holding a bazaar.
And the 3D picture shows the lifeboat with all its crew and all the people that they've saved at sea. And I think the waves look very rough there, don't they?
It's very effective, isn't it? So many thanks to the Brownies for supporting our appeal and for sending such a lovely picture. We've had a lot of requests from people for a reminder of our Lifesaver appeal depot address, and we'll be giving that to you in a few seconds' time, so now's the chance to grab a paper and pencil. But before that, have a look at our lifeboat's totalizer.
It's now reached the 300,000 stage, and you've actually sent 301,620 envelopes of postcards and buttons, so well done.
Yes, that's an increase since Monday of 18,950. Now, meanwhile, on our Ethiopia totalizer, we're still flashing away at the 550,000 mark, although, again, the number you've actually sent us is 632,270 envelopes of stamps.
So let's see if we can push both of our totalizers up another stage by our next program on Christmas Eve, because that really would be marvellous news.
Yes, and we can make use of every single old postcard and old button and stamp that you can send us. Anyway, as promised, here's a reminder of our Lifesaver appeal address. It is Blue Peter, Lifesaver Appeal, free post, and again, we must say a big, big thank you to the post office for enabling our parcels to go absolutely free of charge. Banbury, Oxon, that's short for Oxfordshire, OX16 8TW. And remember that if your donation is for boats, to add a B for lifeboats.
And please, please do all that you can to help get our lifeboats and to help those starving children and families in Ethiopia, because it really is a matter of life or death.
If you can make one last superhuman effort, perhaps we could reach our double Lifesaver appeal target by the new year. I said on Monday that I'd be showing you how to make a last-minute, cheap and cheerful Christmas decoration. And here it is, these lovely Christmas flowers, which are sparkling with lots and lots of glitter and tinsel. Now, you could make a single one like this if you like to hang on the Christmas tree, or you can make a whole cluster of them like that, which is great for a wall decoration, but you can also decorate a candle with it too, which makes a really nice Christmas centerpiece for your table. Now, you can jolly these up with whatever sort of glitter and tinsel you like. There are all sorts of colours, and you can even get multicoloured glitter like this, which I think looks great and really catches the light. And there are these little Christmas bells too, which are very effective, very simple and very cheap to make. In fact, I bet you'd never guess that all these Christmas decorations started off life as a common or garden egg box like this. Now, the plastic sort is the best type to use, but if you can go and get hold of the cardboard ones, not to worry. Start off by cutting away one of the egg holding sections of your egg box. Now, because the plastic does tend to tear rather, it's best to cut a bit wider than the shape that you think you'll eventually need, because you can always trim it away afterwards. And you'll need quite a stout pair of scissors to do this. So cut away into the next section if you need to, and you won't need that bit at the bottom anyway, so cut right through that. And then once you've got the basic shape, you can start trimming it away to make it nice and neat. Now, because the plastic does tend to tear, go at it a bit slowly. And if it does tear, if it's not too deep, you can always incorporate it into the petal shape, so don't panic if it seems to have torn too much. So cut it away quite neatly, and you'll need quite a sharp pair of scissors to get around these corners, and trim away as you go, snipping through the plastic and minding your fingers the while. So cut away as much as you can. And once you've got the basic shape like that, as you can see, that needs a bit of trimming so that it's a nice, neat circle. So round the circle you go until you've got what is going to be an almost perfect shape to begin making your Christmas festive flower. Next, cut down the indentations that on these plastic ones are already marked for you, which is most convenient. So cut down all of those down to the central part, right down. And when you've got right the way around your circle, to make the petal shape, you start cutting into the actual plastic bits that you've cut through, dividing them into 4, so that is 3 snips each. don't worry if your cuts aren't mathematically perfect, because you can always spread the flower open and it won't look awful if it's not absolutely regular. So cut through all of those so that when you've gone round all your flower, that is what you end up with. And as you can see, it's turning itself into petals very nicely. Now, so that you can hang it in your window or from your Christmas tree, thread a needle with some cotton and tie a knot in one end, and then pierce just one end of those plastic sections so that you can hang it up. Now comes the fun bit. This is when you start transforming it into real Christmas glitter. Put some newspaper onto your work surface so you don't make a mess everywhere, and spread all the petals of your flower out by pushing down on the centre so that they fan out nicely, and then spread glue onto all the petals. Now you can be quite generous with the glue, and if you haven't got the sort with a paintbrush built into it, get yourself a paintbrush and dip that in your glue, because painting the glue on is much the easiest way to cover all the petals. So spread that nice and thick. Don't worry about getting glue onto the newspaper underneath, because what you do next is to lift your flower off the newspaper and replace the first bit of newspaper with a second bit of newspaper to add the glitter. Again, push the centre of your flower down with your finger, and this is where you can really heap the glitter on. It's just like we did with the Christmas cards. None of it goes to waste, because once you've shaken the glitter off your Christmas flower, you can pop it back in the glass again. So lift it up, give it a good shake, and as you can see, it's already beginning to look nice and sparkly. Now put that aside to dry, and a good tip is to give it another shake onto your newspaper once it's dried completely, because then any bits of glitter that haven't stuck quite properly will shake off and they won't fall off all over the carpet on Christmas Day. Then tip the glitter back into your glass so that you can use it again to decorate more Christmas flowers. Now once the glue's dry, you can decorate the other side with more glitter, and you can use either the same colour or a different colour. And as you can see, this looks very good with gold and silver, and if it swings round in the light, it would really look pretty. As a finishing touch, pop a bit of tinsel into the middle of each flower using either double-sided tape or a spot of glue. And this is a great way of using up those little odds and ends of tinsel that often fall off the rope. And there it is, finished. And you can use this to hang on your Christmas tree or to put in the window where it would catch the light really nicely. But if you want to make yourself the little cluster of flowers, you'll need 6 of the flowers altogether, and also cut out some leaf shapes and decorate them on one side with some glitter. The base is a ring of cardboard, which you draw around a saucer or something like that to get a nice round pattern, and cover it with foil on both sides, and then you simply stick your flowers and your leaves onto that base until it's covered right the way round. It's beginning to look extremely pretty already. Let's add a couple of leaves. That's right. And once that's completely covered, that is what you are left with. Now, as I said, that would look very good just hung on the wall at Christmas, very pretty, like a sort of very glittery wreath. But if you fancy making the candle holder, you'll need a lid, an old tin lid with some modelling clay stuck in it to support your candle, and then disguise the modelling clay with a little ring of tinsel and pop your flowers over the top. And I think that's the sort of thing that looks really nice on your Christmas table. The little bells are even easier to make than that. They again are egg-holding sections decorated inside and out with plenty of glue and glitter dust, and then suspend them from your tree with some of this gift wrapping cord and tie a knot in it when you put it through the hole in the top so that it doesn't fall off. And as a final touch, add a brightly coloured ribbon near the top of your tree. I think they look extremely effective, and they have the added bonus, of course, of being very cheap to make, because little Christmas decorations like this can often be very expensive.
Talking of money, it's actually £2.75 for adults to get into the Model Engineer exhibition, and £1.75 for children, and of course free if you wear your badge. Well, there's only 5 days to go to Christmas Day, and if you'd like to give a card to your next door neighbour, of course there's no chance to put one in the post now, it's too late, and if you haven't time to make one, well, why not get hold of one of these? They've all been made by people between the ages of 7 and 15, and they're the prize-winning entries in a competition. If you do buy one of these, well, you'll be helping a very good cause, because the proceeds are going to help research into cot deaths.
No one knows exactly why sometimes babies die mysteriously in the cots when their parents think they're asleep. So research into this very sad problem is very important. This is a favourite of mine. It's by Joy Burridge, who's 8 from Birmingham. Nice pretty picture there. I think I'll give it to my mum.
The cot death cards are only on sale in WH Smith's, who aren't taking any profit at all, so that'll help greatly towards the research. We'll be back on Monday, which is Christmas Eve, so we'll have plenty of Christmas magic. In fact, we'll be transforming the studio into the Kingdom of the Snow for the Festival Nutcracker Ballet.
So don't forget to switch us on then, on Monday. See you then.
See you then.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye.